Conservation is a state of harmony between men and land. By land is meant all the things on, over, or in the earth. Harmony with land is like harmony with a friend. You cannot cherish his right hand and cut off his left. This was said by Aldo Leopold, who is an ecologist and conservationist. Conservation and preservation of our land is extremely important. Many people do not know just how important our land is to not only our survival, but also to the survival of many important animals. While I was researching this topic, I came across many shocking statements. I plan on becoming a veterinarian, and this topic was something that I had slightly looked into before this speech. However, I had no clue just how important it actually is. Today, I hope that you listen with an open mind while I share why our land is important, why animals, as well as humans, really need it, and what preservation and conservation really are. First, I'm going to explain why our land is important. Land is, of course, where humans live, where our food comes from, where our homes are, where our jobs take place, and where we are able to survive. The only way that we can really do anything is by having this land, so it is important to set some of this aside so we have it in our future. Now that we've covered some of the basic functions, let's move into more detail as to why preservation and conservation are really needed. In a set of articles called Concept of Scientific Wildlife Conservation and Its Dissemination, the reader learns that relationship between humans, animals, and the environment is complicated and very important. Humans and animals use land in order to survive. Without it, we wouldn't be able to really do anything. The land is where we get all of our food, our building materials, supplies to make our clothing, and it's very important that we preserve that for as long as we can. Animals are how humans were originally able to survive. Without animals, we wouldn't have certain clothing, we wouldn't be able to eat certain things. Travel would have been set back to where it would basically be only foot still. And the animals need the land just as much, if not more, than we do. Conserving and preserving our land is the best way we can ensure that we will have this for many years to come. Conservation and preservation basically are just making sure that we have this land, we set it aside, and then we can use it for many years to come. If we do not do this, then we won't be able to use it. There have been many case studies proving that if we do not do that, then certain animals will go extinct, or we will not be able to survive on that land. People like to go into land, they overuse it, they remove the trees, and then that gets rid of other animals that were important to people's ways of life. There was a case study done in China where they actually got rid of all of the wolves that were native, the Malaysian wolves. And then when they did that, people actually had a lot of things bad happen. The people that originally used them to hunt alongside ended up not being able to hunt anymore. Other people came in, took the land, and started just destroying it so they could make more farms. In Brenda Peterson's book, Wolf Nation, the reader sees that when wolves from Yellowstone were removed for so many years, the overpopulation of herbivores happened. And because there was an overpopulation of that, most of the plants that were in the area were removed. Overpopulation, when it happens, they go in, they eat everything, and then there becomes nothing left, which is not a good thing. According to Warren Cornwall's article, There Will Be Blood, people do not fully understand the concept of conservation, and others exploit that lack of knowledge and use it to help themselves and only themselves. When people don't fully understand the concept, they believe on the surface it's just about saving one thing, when in reality we need to take into effect all the other things that it can affect. One example of that is Aldo Leopold. He wanted to help conserve a species, but he did not take into consideration all the negative impacts it could have. He believed that we needed to get rid of all wolves in order to have the deer population go up. The issue with that is that wolves are a keystone species. That means that wolves help control so many different things in our environment. In Yellowstone, when they were removed for so long, and then when they came back, we found that the herds of elk and bison that were there became so much healthier because they got rid of the older and the sicker animals. They helped change the flow of rivers because when they came back, beavers also made a comeback, and that changed the way rivers flow. It's important that when you think about conservation and preservation, you think about not just one thing. You have to make sure that you're looking at the big picture, because you don't want to impact just one little thing, because that can throw everything off. People do believe that conservation is an important thing. They just don't fully understand the entire concept. Conservation and preservation are extremely important factors in our everyday lives. We need to make sure that we research this and we look into it, because if we don't look out for our future, who will? We are the next generation. It is our job to ensure that we have this for our future and for everyone that comes after us. In closing, it is easy to see why land preservation and conservation is important to keep up with. While it may seem like something that people our age should not be dealing with, it is up to us to ensure that we have the chance for a good future.